When we hear the word protection, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Usually it's something based on fear, right? Locks, alarms, thinking about all the dangers out there in the world. But what if we completely flipped that script? What if we decided that protection isn't about reacting to fear, but instead it's the most proactive and loving thing we can possibly do for the people we care about? Today, let's talk about how to build a real sanctuary, a place of genuine safety and dignity for you and for everyone you love.
And let's be real, the world can feel like a pretty chaotic place. It's fast-paced, and the dangers are very real. From big picture things like corruption to digital threats that seem to change every single day. That's one side of the coin. But on the other side, that's the goal. Not some fortress we build because we're scared, but a sanctuary. A place that's all about warmth and trust and real connection. What we're going to do is figure out how to take our awareness of those risks and use them as the very building blocks for that safe harbor. This right here, this is the heart of it all. True protection isn't about controlling people or putting up walls to keep them in. It's the exact opposite. It's about empowerment. It's about giving the people you love the tools, the confidence, and that rock-solid support they need to navigate the world safely with their integrity totally intact. It's basically love in action. Okay, so where do we even begin with a project this big? Well, it doesn't start with physical walls or fences. It starts from the inside out. We're going to begin by building what we'll call the inner sanctuary. This is the absolute foundation for everything else, that internal strength that helps the people we love spot and resist harm before it even gets a chance to take hold. I want you to think about self-worth as a kind of emotional immune system, right? Someone who has a really solid, stable sense of their own value can spot and reject things that are meant to devalue them. See, manipulators are always looking for insecurities. They prey on making people feel like they're not good enough. So our very first line of defense is helping to build genuine self-esteem. And I mean confidence that's rooted in character and what you can do, not just what you look like. It's a natural shield against exploitation. So how do we actually build that shield? Well, it really comes down to three key pillars. First, that real self-esteem we just talked about. This is the kind you build from competence, from learning a new skill, creating art, or being of service to others. It's about what you can do. Second is empathy. Teaching our kids and ourselves to have deep compassion for other people is such a powerful antidote to bullying and selfishness. And third, and this one is so important, boundaries. We have to empower our loved ones to know their own limits, to feel confident saying no, and to know that it is always okay to walk away from people who don't respect their worth. Here's something you have to understand. Manipulators and bullies absolutely cannot stand the light of day. Their whole strategy depends on their target feeling too ashamed or confused or just plain scared to say anything. They create a little bubble of secrecy and doubt. And the most powerful weapon against that? You create the exact opposite, a space of total non-judgmental, open communication where absolutely nothing is off limits to talk about. You can't fight an enemy you can't see. So let's name some of these tactics. Love bombing. This isn't just someone being nice, it's a flood of affection that's designed to make you drop your guard. Isolation is a huge red flag. When someone tries to cut you off from your friends, your family, your entire support system. Guilt tripping, well, that's when they turn your own conscience into a weapon against you. And financial coercion is just using money to make someone dependent and easy to control. Learning to spot these patterns is like learning to read a warning label on a poison bottle. Once you have that awareness, you can build a real defense. First, we have to teach our loved ones to be critical thinkers, to just pause and question things, especially if a request comes with a ton of pressure or some kind of crazy flattery. Second, you teach them the playbook we just went over. When you know the moves, they're way less effective. And third, and this might be the most crucial part of all, make sure every single person in your life knows exactly who they can go to. A parent, a trusted friend, a professional, without any fear of being judged. Nobody should ever have to face this stuff alone. Okay, so once that inner foundation is getting stronger, we can move to the next layer of our sanctuary, the home itself. This is the workshop where that inner resilience gets nurtured and reinforced every single day. So now let's talk about how to fortify the home sanctuary, making it a place of deep trust and, really importantly, modern digital safety.
A home is so much more than just a building with a roof. It's the emotional bedrock of our entire lives. It's where we figure out our values, where we learn if it's actually safe to be vulnerable, to ask for help, or to tell the truth, even when it's hard. Creating a home that is emotionally safe is probably the most direct way we can shelter and strengthen the people we love. So how do we actually build this culture of trust? Well, here are a few really practical steps. First, Make it a non-negotiable rule that any concern, no matter how weird or small it seems, is always met without shame. No dismissals. Second, you can use frameworks that already exist, like Pledge to Protect, to help guide those tough, age-appropriate conversations. Third, be super explicit about your family values. Actually say it out loud. In this house, we value honesty. And finally, just make time for regular, respectful check-ins where everybody gets a chance to talk and, more importantly, a chance to be heard. Listen, in today's world, our digital front door is just as important as our physical one. And these things right here, they're non-negotiable. Every single person in the family needs to get why strong, unique passwords are a must. And no, you can't just use the dog's name for everything. Turn on two-factor authentication everywhere you can. It is one of the single best defenses out there. And teach everyone, from your kids to your parents, how to spot a sketchy email or a phishing link. This is literally modern-day self-defense. And the threats are always evolving. It's not just about weird emails anymore. AI can now create what are called deep fakes, videos or audio clips that look and sound incredibly real but are completely fake. They can be used for all sorts of scams and manipulation. The point isn't to become a tech genius overnight. It's about developing a healthy skepticism. We've got to teach the people we love to question what they see online, especially if it seems designed to make them feel scared or angry. So, with a strong inner self and a fortified home, we're finally ready to face outward. Now we're going to talk about shielding from the world. Those bigger, external forces like corruption and greed that can have a huge impact on our families and our communities. You know, unlike a danger you can see coming right at you, things like greed and corruption, they tend to operate in the shadows. They can slowly erode institutions, poison a workplace, or distort a whole community. And a lot of the time, we don't see the full damage until it's already been done. So, being vigilant, being aware, it's absolutely key. Now, this isn't about being cynical or negative. It's about being a prepared and responsible member of society. Teaching our families how to recognize unethical behavior, making sure they know the right way to report it, and giving them the courage to actually resist it, that is a powerful form of protection. It extends our little sanctuary beyond our own four walls and helps build a safer community for everybody. So we've covered a lot of ground, right? Building up the inner self, fortifying the home, and then facing the wider world. In this conclusion, it's not really an endpoint. It's about putting it all together. It's understanding that all this work, it creates a legacy of safety. It's a sanctuary that exists both in the real world and in our hearts and minds. You know, after all the talk about tactics and strategies and threats, it really all comes back to this one simple idea. The ultimate protection, the deepest sanctuary, you're not going to find it on a map. It's found in the quality of our relationships. It's a life that's built on a foundation of honesty, courage, and just genuine care for each other. That is the shelter that can get you through any storm. So what does this legacy look like? Well, it's made up of a few key things. It's continuous empowerment, always learning, always keeping that dialogue open. It's being proactive with our digital habits and being engaged in our communities. And all of that, every bit of it, rests on an unshakable foundation of love, integrity, and a real commitment to safety. These are the building blocks that are truly built to last. And the amazing thing is, the work you do today to build this sanctuary of trust and resilience, it's not just for you. It's not even just for your immediate family. It's like planting a huge, strong tree. The roots go deep, and it provides shelter long, long after you're gone. It creates a pattern, a way of being that can protect and nurture generations down the line. And that is an incredible legacy to leave. And this just says it all, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that beautiful paradox of protection. See, our goal isn't to build a cage, no matter how gilded or comfortable it is. The goal is to build a home base, a place so secure, so loving, that it gives our loved ones two incredible gifts at the same time: the safety to be their truest, most authentic selves, and the courage to take that self out into the world and absolutely shine. What better gift could there possibly be?